everyone. Welcome once again. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, primarily focusing on our mobile platform, helping get our subscribers and customers information to our development team to help it be the most comprehensive trading tool from the palm of your hand for anybody, whether you're long-term investing, short-term investing. We really cover it all. Also, we do live streams at least once a week on our Facebook page as well, specifically going over training on the mobile app. Last week we did technical analysis looking at candlestick patterns. This week we have a whole session talking about MACD, which was voted on by you guys out there that tune in every Thursday. So if you're interested, Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, we go live on Facebook. You go to facebook.com/VectorVest7, and that'll get you to our page. Make sure to like the page, turn on notifications so you keep up to date with that. All right, but enough of that. Let's get into the picks that I have here today. So the first pick seemed pretty obvious. Run, gonna be, big headlines right now. RT, that 2.0. They just bought out Vivint, I think it was. Now becoming the largest company in the solar panel industry, even outpacing Tesla. And then the other one, I forget the name of it, but that I think Berkshire Hathaway purchase. Go with the best out of the industry is one of the easiest methodologies that we teach here at VectorVest. You want the best of the best in certain industries, there you go. So that's going to be my first pick. If you look at it, it is very speculative because it has poor RV, poor RS, but it's a hot ticket item right now. It's a momentum play. Using some technical analysis can help time it, but also when we get into the chart, I'll show you some other features that I liked about it as well. You do see that it is trading at a premium right now. No surprise there. Everybody's paying that higher premium just because they're they expect to see that growth happen in the future. And so you do see it trading at that premium right now. My other pick for today is going to be SDAO. This is going to be more of a speculative play. I know it has the lowest RT. It's the only stock in this whole entire list with an RT below 1, but don't count it out quite yet. Wait till we get into the chart. We'll see a few things that may switch your mind or change your mind up on jumping into a triple leverage contra on the Dow. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into them. So first one, which one we taking a look at? You can surprise me. All right, run. So this one, I like what everything is going on here. Right now, I have it on a 1-year time frame. Glenn, if you move that yellow line up to that high over the last 1 year before this most recent breakout, so you can see, this is something I talk about a lot in our Jockey Club. I've talked a lot about it on our Facebook streams that we do, and a very simple methodology called a green line breakout. The stock, has been moving sideways. You have a few up and down periods, but then all of a sudden get a short-term run up and then a gap up to a new 1-year high. That's a very bullish sign on a stock. Shows a lot of interest, and then getting follow through here today. Just from a technical standpoint, that's a very strong sign. Usually this is the earliest, early signs of a big run coming up. The way I'd play this is, buy it. If you don't, if you see it break below the low of the gap up day yesterday, that would be the exit strategy. I know that is kind of a wider stance, but, bigger or increasing your risk a little bit for a lot higher of a reward potential. From an aggressive standpoint, though, it seems like a good way to play it. Everything else, looks pretty good except for earnings per share, but hopefully we'll see that change in the upcoming years as this stock starts to really gain traction in the industry and starts to really set itself apart from everybody else, all the competitors. Glenn, what do you think?
It's a news-driven stock.
Yeah.
It bought VSLR, Vivint. So I think that it does make it the biggest, in the buyout of Vivint does make it the biggest solar company, which is going to be huge. Just like any merger or acquisition, the good love story when it first happens. Yay, this is good. And now we just have to see if it can hold on. I am also still right behind you in clean energy. That's a hot industry. I can't get away from that. It's an industry that's definitely on the rise. So you put those two things together, hot industry, it bought out another company, it makes it a big company in that space. My only concern is that it's news driven. That's it for me, and we'll just have to see how the news pans out. It looks good from the beginning. Let's see if it can hold out. But after it broke out, follow through, as Jim would say, right, Jim?
Yes.
Above resistance and good follow through. Now, I think that's more of a view of really
just stole
breaking
everything.
resistance. That's what I got to add to
You
it.
stole your pick and what you were
I
going to
didn't
say,
steal
bro.
your pick.
It's still my pick and my commentary.
I didn't.
No, he's right. Yeah, I agree. Real quick, that's what I like to see, right? You've got it above. Now, again, it comes back to objectives, right? And there's two, you alluded to two different things. As a trade, it's broken through that resistance. It's got confirmation. And as a trade, you can place it as a trade. But then you mentioned the longer term macro view of clean energy. And so it depends on your objective. I like the trade aspect. My favorite part of this is it keeps making me think of my favorite singer-songwriter, Jackson Brown's Running on Empty, running into the sun that I'm running behind. That's my favorite part of this.
Wow.
But I do.
That's better than my Johnny Mathis.
We got to laugh a little bit, right? We got to laugh. Anyway, I do like the trade. I like the breakout. I like the confirmation. And then if you're looking at it in the more macro view, of course, you might look at it a little differently on how and when you trade it. But that's my take on it.
Only thing is, I wish I bought it yesterday. 2 days.
There you go.
Because of that,
Wish
I probably let this thing settle down a little bit. But that's all I would say.
All right. Let's move on to the next stock, which would be the S-Dow. There it is.
All right.
We're going to eat this up. I mean, sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
I have a feeling, so just listen to me. On this one, there's three major indices that you can trade ETFs on: S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow. Out of those three industries, with everything going on right now, NASDAQ you don't want to even come close to being bearish on because it's all digital. You don't have to rely on brick and mortar stores, any of that. And that makes it really hard for the NASDAQ to take as big of a hit as the S&P or the Dow. I like this one a little bit more. The triple leverage on the S&P was similar, but what I like about this is we have earnings season coming up. If you look, price has been steadily declining here, but you look at the DPO, which is typically a momentum indicator, you have it picking up, giving us a bullish divergence, if you will. And I'm not saying, right now is necessarily the best entry, but you also have a higher low potentially forming from that low back around the beginning of June. So you have some setups potentially getting ready. You just need to have that follow through, need to have confirmation of it. But VST or the MTI has been above 1.6 for quite some time. You're starting to see some bullish divergences with some of the ETFs on the major indices. With earnings right around the corner, that could be the catalyst. Who knows what's going to be the catalyst? So, this is one I'd keep in my back pocket, keep an eye on day to day, and wait for, a true breakout to occur, whether you want to use a trend line from the highs, a downtrend line, see if it breaks above that. Or you could use, 3 and the 8 and the stochastic confirmation like we talk about. There's a variety of things, whatever you're most comfortable with, but essentially looking for that breakout to occur. I know it's a little early and it hasn't really shown breakout or confirmation of breakouts yet, but once that does happen, I think this could be a really explosive play to make quick gains very, very fast.
This is an intestinal fortitude trade. Yes, I went there. From the technicals, it looks like it's ready. The DPO is getting closer to breaking above zero, which is a bullish sign. Stochastics is showing that this S-Dow is very close to being oversold. So putting those two technicals together, We time the market in the VectorVest software. I know the MTI is at 1.6. This is, as Steve said on one of my trades, you're either going to like it or you're not. That's all I can say. This is, without me saying anything that's like a bad word, I'm trying to say this is more of an intestinal fortitude play where, holy smokes, put your hands and feet in the ride and hold on for dear life, because if it don't work out, it don't. But if it does, it does. So, yeah, that's how I'm gonna phrase that. Steve?
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one only because we're not at a critical point or juncture where it looks like a bearish signal on the market is going to kick in just yet. Having said that, I do like introducing contra ETFs to this discussion because I feel like there will be a time and a place for this trade. I'm just not sure when that time or place is going to be yet. And it may be a little bit longer than a lot of people think. They've already talked about putting another $2 trillion into the market. That would put us at about 50% manufactured GDP. Investors might stick around a little bit longer here and hold on to the upside than a lot of people think. But I don't know. Those are my 2 cents. I think it's a bit early. I like the discussion of them. I think making people aware that there are funds out there that go up when the markets go down is a really good discussion to have.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little different here and say I see it I believe in the uncertainty that we talked about earlier. I lean bearish on the market. Yes, I will always heed the color guard and do what it tells me to do and take that into account. But I think I think some of the things aren't even uncertain. I think there are things going on that we haven't even seen yet. So from a more macro view of being bearish, I'm all for it. I would need to see the market turning down. As a trade, it's a great trade. I'm not a huge fan of contra ETFs as a longer term defensive measure. However, a great trade. I see no problem with it at the first sign of trouble in the market. You did leave one index out, the Russell 2000, which I'm glad to share with you. I'm long put options on the Russell 2000 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see
I like the small cap idea.
Yeah, it is a little different idea.
That's where people are going to run from.
If there's any stocks that are going to get smoked, if the proverbial stuff hits the fan, it's going to be the small caps.
Right now, when you see me looking at my phone, I'm looking at the market, and the markets are up, but the Russell 2000 is actually down. The IWM is actually in the red as we speak. Right. But I don't think being bearish, having a bearish lean here is not all that big a step out of line.
I don't either.
Heed the color guard,
Yeah, and that's why I preface this with
you did it right.
The setup's not quite there yet, but rather have it and in your watch list, keep an eye on it on a day-to-day basis, so that way.
Yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
Yeah, because when this thing pops,
it's gonna.
Yeah,
pop.
Man.
You're gonna make some quick money, and you don't want to miss out on it.
We'll see.
When it pops is the key.
We'll see.
That was an interesting pick, and I think it brought a lot out of all of us, which I think that's a good point.
I have no problem with a bearish leaning right now in this market. So, for more of a macro view.
I don't either until they put $2 trillion in it again.
And then the market, and then people stay around. I mean, so there's a lot that needs to come into play for this to work.
Until we realize
I'm on board with knowing that if the more money we put, we already talked about it's going to help gold,
but just like with quantitative easing,
hey,
the more money you put into it,
gold because we're digging a deeper hole. We're going to find
gold. You got the conversation going.
You did, and that was a good choice for the conversation, and I think
that was on the Russell.
Welcome to conversation.
Welcome to conversation.
On IWM. Buy some IWM.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.